What's up guys, you are rocking out with Rochelle Mace and welcome back to my channel. A couple of days ago I put a little questionnaire on my Instagram and I got you guys to ask me some questions so that I could answer them on here. One of the first questions I got was, what is my favorite vegan meal to make? I can easily say my favorite vegan meal to make is a vegan nacho bowl or like a vegan nourish bowl. So generally that will consist of either like brown rice or sweet potato, crispy or satay tofu, shredded carrot, cucumber, tomato, and then usually some vegan cheese or nutritional yeast on top. Mojo, cut it out! Thank you. Next question I got was about how I edit my photos, and I often get asked this question. I edit my photos on Lightroom and I use Do You Travel presets. If you want to up your Instagram game, I highly recommend that you invest in Lightroom. And the other thing that I do for my photos is I plan all of them on Unum. People always say to me, are you in Byron Bay or are you in Bondi? Where are you based? Are you in Bali right now? And I think I confuse a lot of people because I'm always backlogging my posts. I will organize my feed well in advance, and if a photo that I take at that given moment doesn't fit in with my feed at the time, then I will put it up for like future posts. And that's just how I prefer to edit my feed. I love having my feed all color coordinated. Another question that I get asked a lot is, how do I get my feed looking so consistent? And the easiest way to answer that question is I know what my theme colors are and I plan them out. So it's a bit of a perfectionism thing and I actually enjoy doing it. So I have my 4 theme colors, which are red, pink, blue, and green. I space them out throughout my feed, so I'm quite selective with which colors go in each photo so that they are spread out consistently across my feed, and this helps to make your feed look aesthetically pleasing. So when you plan out your feed, you want to make sure that you are spreading out those different colors, and that when you're taking photos, it's all about post-production as well, that you are taking photos with your theme colors in it. That's just the way I do it. I know that seems really OCD, but hey, that's how I do my Instagram game. I feel like it depends who the ex is. I think it's quite dependent on the circumstances, how you guys break up. Without sounding dramatic, I take a really long time to process things and get over things, and you know, once you go through a breakup, you try and give back to yourself and get to know who you are without having that other person in your life. So sometimes it takes me a year or so until I can actually reach out and connect with that person. The simple answer to that question is yes, exes can be friends if you guys have a healthy and kind relationship, and as long as there are no underlying feelings or emotions still on the surface, then I think you definitely can. And I also think it really helps if you guys have moved on and you have sought out other relationships, because this can give you a really healthy perspective of what your relationship was like with that person, and then in turn you guys can actually reflect on it in a really positive light together. So that's my answer to that question. Read the art of not giving a fuck. Honestly, I think that probably comes down to how you feel about yourself, knowing what you desire, and having a group of supportive people in your life. Once you have those solid foundations in your life, you don't really care about what everyone else is doing. I think there was a time for me where I did give a crap about what other people thought of me when I didn't have healthy friendships and I didn't have a healthy relationship. So it's really important to be grounded within yourself and to have those around you that make you feel supported. Because when you have people in your life that support what you do, you don't really care about anyone else but pleasing yourself and pleasing those around you who in turn have your back. So in order to not care about what people think of you, you really need to build on the things in your life. So focus on the things that make you feel good. Ask yourself at the end of the day, is this making me feel good? Question why you're doing things and who you're doing them for. If you're doing anything to seek validation outwardly or from other people, then you are probably caring too much about what other people think. Whereas if you're doing something because you genuinely enjoy it and it makes you feel good and it lights you up, by focusing on that, you're going to care less about what people think of you and more about the things that matter in your life and that matter in your heart. So my career has taken a massive turn in the past 9 months. So I was working in finance for 2.5 years. And during that time, I was also building on my blog and my Instagram and my content creation. I so fondly remember when I received packages at work and I would like go into my boss's office and open them up and take photos and flat lays in his office. And you know, I knew the whole time that that's where my heart really lied, and I thought that it was always going to be a side hobby and a side gig. It wasn't until November I left my role. I finally threw myself into blogging and collaborating, and I really wasn't sure what I was doing or where I was going with it, but I kind of just ran with it. And at the moment, I am currently doing full-time content creation. I'm freelancing videography and social media management. So it's all pretty creative, really. And in terms of getting those roles, you know, I haven't studied in that field at all. Most of the things that I've learned on my life have been through my own development and from learning on YouTube. I became a freelance makeup artist just by teaching myself how to do makeup through YouTube. And just by playing around with the camera, it all just really progressed from there. I always knew that I was a creative person, and now I've thrown myself into it 100%. And building on my own Instagram page has been quite a resume for me. So by putting myself out there and showing what kind of capabilities that I had, it landed me in the right position, really. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm actually really, really content with it. The best thing about Australia? The people, of course! Honestly, I'm not a very patriotic person, but I think that we live in one of the most beautiful and the most safest countries in the world. I think the best thing about Australia would probably have to be our beaches. I think we have some of the prettiest beaches and probably the best sand, because Hawaii even imports it from us, so. I am 24 years old. I am born on the 22nd of November, 1993, and I'm actually on the cusp of being a Sagittarius and a Scorpio. Personally, I believe that I have more Scorpio traits, and truthfully, I'm really scared about turning 25. My 20s have not been scary at all, but 25, I don't know, that's a big one. Ooh, this is a hard one. I really like Mexican and I really like Thai. Probably Mexican, because there's like lots of healthy alternatives, although there is for Thai. I have a really, really big sweet tooth, but yeah, I would have to say Mexican. Honestly, every time someone asks me that question, I say I'm a fruit salad, because I'm like a bit of a mix of everything. So my dad's side, we have like Australian, Welsh, Jewish, and the list goes on. And then on my mum's side, we're a mix of Mediterranean, like Greek and all that jazz. Woo! Definitely not. I'm really not a competitive person, so I've like tried to play OzTag and stuff before, and it just gives me way too much anxiety. The adrenaline makes me want to cry. It's really, really weird. So I've never really been like a sporty person, and I remember when I left school, getting into the gym was a sanctuary for me, because I always thought that in school I had to play sport and I felt like I wasn't competitive or good at it. I remember I went and played nursery netball, and the teachers had to stand on my toes because I was traveling all the time. I'm a horsey gal at heart. Like when I was growing up, I did pony club and I have all these medals and trophies and ribbons. So if I had to play any sport, it would be horse riding. I would much rather work out than play sports, so yeah. This is a little bit of a tricky one to answer. So March of this year, 2018, I went to Bali and I came back from Bali and I had a little bit of a health inspiration and I decided to get on the vegan bandwagon. This was mostly for my own digestion and just for healing my gut and feeling good about myself. So for the past couple of months, I've been pretty plant-based. And then in the last month or so, I've actually introduced like eggs and fish back into my diet. I have always been dairy and gluten-free. That's just something that I've done out of choice and because I feel like I'm more intolerant to those foods. I've had tests done and I'm not celiac, but I personally don't feel good when I eat them. So I have a very, very sensitive gut. I do have IBS. I think I'm gonna delve more into getting tests done because IBS is a very broad term and there's so much more that I need to understand about my stomach. So I guess you could say I am like plant-based, but I don't like to put a label on my diet at all. I feel like that puts too much pressure on me and the way that I eat as well. I'm just doing my thing with lots of plants. I listen to a diverse range of music. There will be days where I'll want to listen to instrumental music. I'm talking really slow, soothing, emotional stuff. And then other days I want to be a white girl gone black. And then other days I'll listen to pop music or like just radio stuff. 24 hours, I need more hours with you. I clearly don't have the best dance moves. Love me or leave me. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there. That is my Q&A. I hope you learnt something new or weird about me today. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, don't bother giving it a thumbs down. Support my channel and help me grow it. Please subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see more from me because I want to create stuff that you like. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!